Hello, my name is Shadley. Welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Hedjaz. In previous episodes we managed to conquer most of Yemen actually. And now it's... well, actually there's not that many extra workers there anymore, or peasants there. But I suppose this is one of the estates over here that is going to be growing pretty quickly. It's 70,000 estimated growth per year. Of course, that's not all going to be workers, mind you, but it's still growing pretty good, although the market access is a bit lacking there. We are going to be getting a bit of ports in there. I mean, right now we're building another port, and then... what are they... oh, they're going to build a tooling workshop in it. Okay, they want to build tooling workshops everywhere then, I suppose. Iron shortage is still very much a thing that... oh. Right, so one thing that I noticed over there, so... at the end of the last episode, there's diplomatic play for USA to puppet Papal States. And they're supported by Austria. And now Austria is fighting against... oh, they want a Crete Treaty report. Okay. Against Egypt. Well, that's a bit unfortunate there. So Oman, there's no minerals or minables in there, let's just say. Although I believe it will eventually get some oil. Most likely. So that would be a way to get some more land there. Although... they do have the capital in here, so if I was to do a war against Oman... let's have a look first of all. I can only take the Trucial Coast or Oman itself. I can't take any of the others. I mean, I wouldn't mind taking both of those, to be fair. But I think we'll wait a little bit with that one. There's not a lot of pops in Oman, actually. There's a bit of farmlands in there. There's some naval base. Oh, naval base might not be a bad idea, actually. Although we definitely need to get our own shipyard at some point. Maybe we'll make a shipyard in need at some point. I mean, that at least has a decent bit of... well, actually... yeah, it's got a little bit more extra pops there right now, but I suppose that will be gone with the ranch there. In the meanwhile, at least we're making a pretty good amount of money, and if we do have a look at the construction, so tooling workshop, they haven't started anything else there yet, so that will be a bit of a short or long-term project there, I suppose. We get another lead mine in Yemen, at least. And then the glass work over here, I suppose, until we get the... oh, right, crystal glass would actually be pretty decent. We need to get the crystal glass invented first, and that would be in production right about there. So it's not really that far off. So we could then start making a lot more glass. Oh, nitroglycerin there. Wow, that's actually pretty decent. We're currently working on the urban planning just so that we can get the market squares in urban centers, so we can start using a bit of glass to make... I mean, glass... we could use a bit more in there, to be fair. So maybe we'll increase the glasswork level at some point. But right now, that can be as is. I suppose another thing that we could use, definitely, is a university. We haven't gotten one yet. Do we have... oh, paranoid slave owners. Well, I mean, we are not really owning slaves, are we? Oh, we got slave trade. Never mind. Right, well, that might be something that we might want to get out of eventually. Right, so the peasant levy is... no, it's only 7% there. Okay, well, that's... shame. Ooh, industrialists are now influential. Now, not that they have... ooh, serfdom abolished. That's 20% chance of passing. I mean, the landowners would be very upset about that. But if we can abolish serfdom, that is already going to unlock some of the better option for us in the long run. So I think we can actually go for that. And hopefully we can pass it. I mean, it's not guaranteed, of course, but we've got okay legitimacy right now. So at least the rolls for this one happen fairly frequently. Oh, right, and urban planning unlocks so an extra infrastructure bill, 100,000 population. So that means that the infrastructure problems in Yemen are actually over, at least for now. Okay, so we've got that sorted. Romanticism is something that would unlock the agrarianism, so that actually is not a terrible idea either. Let's just complete that one, it also gives us a bit of prestige. Oh, and now that we've got the option, let's go ahead and switch you to the market square, so we'll get even more services available. We've got the service tax in there, so we'll be getting a lot of money out of it anyway. Do we have, oh, this is level 3 over here. We could probably afford it, yeah. Now, I'm just hoping that the serfdom, or abolishing the serfdom goes smoothly. Of course, it's not guaranteed. But one can certainly hope. We're about to get another lead mine in Yemen, though. To be fair, it's going to use a bit more tools, but the tools situation isn't too bad in our market at least. So did... Oh. Yeah. Egyptian Crete. And then there's the Austrian Crete. Both of them have a paper mill there. But yeah, looks like Egypt is getting pummeled from multiple directions. There's been Russians, Ottomans, and Austrians. And is Greece part... Oh, they're part of the Austrian market. I mean, that makes sense, I suppose. That helps them at least a little bit there. Oh. Right, now the war between USA and Papal States is going on. Honestly, puppeting Papal States seems a bit of a bold move. How are they doing in here? So they've taken at least Texas. And then got New Mexico. And there's a decent bit more to conquer over here. Oh, what's this then? Return Aleppo. Alright then. Right about there, then they might have Lebanon afterwards. But let's just say that Egypt is... purchasing emancipation. 15% bureaucracy, 10% success chance. Minus 2% standard of living for the lowest strata. Plus 10% success chance, 100% radicals from standard of living decreases. Or you cannot own a human being. No, I think we are going to make up for the cost. We are going to lose a bit of tax income there and bureaucracy, but we could probably manage that. We're getting a bit of extra barracks now, so we should be able to get up to a total of 20 battalions, right? Let's see, so we've got 2 there, another 2 there. And we've got 10 there, so there's 14. There's 50. Okay, actually, we are going to be missing 1. Maybe we'll put 1 over here. Utilize some of that population. So we get a total of 20 battalions. So it's at least 1 full army. Full level 1 general. Right, some romanticism has been done. We could get the nitroglycerin so we can start discovering some resources, I suppose. Although I don't think we're going to be discovering resources in Arabia yet. Largely due to the fact that most of it is oil, and to get to the oil we need to go pretty far in here to go for the... Is it Demotic tools? No, I think it's the pump jacks. It's actually not that far down the list, now that I think of it. I mean, sure enough, we're not going to be reaching there anytime soon. But it is something that can be reached. Oh, it looks like prison is already expanding to Kenya. Alright then. So if we do go for Ethiopia, I don't think we'll be able to get too much further inland at least. I mean, getting lands from Oman is maybe a possibility. Just maybe, I'm not entirely sure if we can pull that off though. Right, so we've got the barracks, we're getting a shipyard in need right now, so that will allow us to get some clippers at least. And maybe some man-o'-wars, although I don't think we'll be using it too much. Then or we'll build the university in our capital, and then a barracks in hell, and then oh, another 2. Oh wow, there's going to be 2 factories being built here right now. I mean, to be fair, it gives a bit of urban centres in there maybe, which is not necessarily too bad. It looks like Egypt is going to be losing another war against the Ottomans. Oh, serfdom abolished. Huzzah. So the landowner's political strength should be dropping drastically. Right, does that allow any new laws or anything like that? Oh, we can go with religious schools. I don't mind that. Although we might be... Yeah, we need 22 per level of institution. We're not quite there yet. Or we don't have that quite yet, but we can probably get to there eventually. We also got okay income, so we could potentially get another construction sector over here. Put that to the top of the list. Get it done as soon as possible, and that is going to allow the private sector to expand a bit further as well. Nitroglycerin, so we got the resource discovery chance at least. And then... Which one? I suppose the crystal class is something I do want to get. I don't know if it's going to start spreading that. We'll have a look what it starts spreading. Oh, it is spreading crystal class. Good. So we'll get that done at least 2 years from now. Although we are going to get the university. Well, I don't know if we'll get that in time for that, actually. But yeah, the tooling workshop is going to take a while. I mean, I suppose the construction efficiency over there is rather rubbish. Investment pool is 1.2 million, though. My goodness. That is quite a bit. Essentially 2 parts of expansion. We'll either go against Oman. Technically speaking 3 if we start fighting against Egypt, but I don't think we're quite there yet in terms of our strength. But Oman, or trying to get the first extra interest, and we don't have that yet, but for that we just need to increase our economy, quite frankly, I reckon. I mean, there's other things as well, but I think increasing our economy will be one of the easier ways to do that. Because we're starting to lose a bit of cash. Oh, well, it's a lot of fluctuating in the cash situation there. I suppose we did increase our construction speed now, so that will allow us to do at least a little bit more work here. Oh, popular playwright endorses reform. Ooh. I'm going to get the prestige, actually. That is very effective. I mean, the religious schools would be a nice thing to have, but we're not too pressed for that right now. But for prestige, we are. Oh, and that allows us to declare an interest in Ethiopia. Which then will allow us to start expanding into Majeerteen, for example, which does have a bit of troops, but why is the quality of the troops? They've got some cannon artillery there, and irregular infantry, so it might be a little bit difficult, but should be able to pull it off, right? At least it shouldn't be too difficult in the grand scheme of things. And then if we take Somaliland in its entirety, we can then get a decent bit of iron in there, which will sort of fix the iron issues that we have. And then we can maybe fix a lot of the other issues like artillery. Now tea is not something that we can get in there, is it? No, there is actually tea plantations as well that could be had. So tea is another thing that we'll get from there. Wine doesn't have a lot of buy orders. Porcelain. Oh, right, and the dye plantation. Small conspiracy. Such ruthlessness would be better applied to exercising your own demons. Yeah, I don't think we're going to go after the slave revolt quite yet, at least. Let's see how it goes, but like, right. Oh, so we got about 222,000 radicals and 215,000 loyalists, so we're roughly breaking even there. Now, we are trying to get the school thing. Is there any... Oh, right, you do have armed forces in the government right now. Well, that's good. So the shipyard is still waiting for a while. Oh, right, yeah, we do have 5.18 instead of the 6.75 that we might be having in normal situation. Oh, right, it's not half, it's 25% that goes into the private sector. Alright. Discord within our forces. With this war, the bill shall pass. So, armed forces attraction is going to go down even further, which is not great. But at the same time, we can maybe get the schools passed, so that would be quite nice. So, once we got the interest in here, we should be able to do the war against Majeerteen. Although, yeah, no, we should be able to do that. Actually, we can do it already. So, Egypt might side with us, but that's not guaranteed. Let's start the war there, and then we'll activate this army. Put it on the front line. I suspect that will be stronger than they are. I don't know how much more stronger than they are. Well, I mean, we've got the numbers advantage at least. Napoleonic warfare. Oh. Not going to do that during war, but after the war we are going to definitely switch to the Napoleonic warfare artillery. Or the mobile artillery, I suppose. Wait, actually, what is the correct name for it? Yeah, mobile artillery. I just realised that we've got some troops over here that are not... right. Well, so I guess it's down here, yeah. I'm going to put line infantry. I suppose I'm going to put that as well. So these troops are not going to be the best by any means, but we should still have some troops there that are capable of fighting. You got defense of 30 there, and there's a bit of a rough one. They got OK General there. Is that defensive? Oh yeah, that's defensive charges. We got a open terrain commander, mounted combat expert, masterful diplomat, psychological affliction, tactful. Okay, so I don't think it's necessarily going to be giving us that much more in there. I'm pretty sure that we can probably get across there, straight there, and then destroy Majeerteen. I mean, they do have a bit of extra troops. Oh right, I could have asked Egypt to join, but I don't think that's necessary right now. 2 arms. So Aleppo was lost to Ottomans already. We have 16 versus 6 over here. We've got the numbers advantage. I think we are going to break them. I mean, we are going to be taking quite a bit of heavy losses in here. But as soon as we get... Oh, lost. Oh dear, that's not good. As soon as we get on the other side there, we've got a lot less to worry about. And then we start getting the digging war score already, partially at least. Discipline and punish. Right, armed forces approval rating would go down, or enactment time. I suppose we'll take the enactment time. We're not hurting too much by just delaying the religious school a little bit, although getting the literary rate going up would be quite nice. Farming boom. Oh, Yemen. some more throughput or standard. I'm going to take the throughput this time. Get a bit more money, perhaps. Oh, there we go. We got 18 versus 8. Well, 19 versus 8, technically speaking, but now it's 18 versus 4. 3, 2. Come on, 1 battalion. There we go. I'm getting a pretty good amount of land there already. So we'll just put in the war goal there. They would not, of course, accept that yet. But battle after battle, we are gaining more and more upper hand in here. So their troops will not be sufficient. We may need to reduce the amount of buildings that they have in here. I suppose the trade centers are going to be mostly closing after we conquer this land. But it will be probably reducing a little bit on the size. I mean, do they have... They don't have any iron mines there yet. The textile mill, I don't know if the textile mill is something that we need. I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt. The food industry is something that we will probably let them build there. We might reduce some of the livestock ranches. The millet farms is something that... Oh, yeah, they got the sugar and fruits already in there. Alright. Oh, we got a bit of plunder on our side. Oh, then we got a rapid advance, and there we go. That's another victory. They will already take the peace deal. So I will offer that them, and there we go. We've conquered part of Ethiopia. So now we can actually declare another interest. The question is, of course, where do we want to declare that? We could go for Zanji. And then what we could do is, once we fight Oman, we could take Oman itself over here as well. I'm not entirely sure if that's the best option, to be fair, but that's an option. Another option would be to put an interest in Nile. So once we do want to start getting our independence, we can take some land from Egypt directly. Other option would be to declare interest in Persia and do some trading over there. Or maybe even Indochina to get some silk. For a little bit cheaper, or North India should probably work as well. Don't think we want to put it in... Yeah, we'll put it in Nile. For the time being, at least. We can always switch that around if need be. So that's our first combat. Let's have a look. Right, so the food entry is underway. The fishing wharves are... Well, there's actually quite a bit of workers in there. If we were to switch for the fishing trawlers, that would require a lot of clippers, which we don't really have. We have built the shipyard, though. And it's only producing clippers right now, which is 35 clippers. Well, it would be 35 clippers if it was full production, which it isn't yet. I am going to build at least 1 iron mine in here. I'm not going to use nitroglycerin, though. But at least 1 iron mine will already be a boon for our economy. And we've got the university, barracks, food industry is queued up, and then I'm going to put the iron mines first, then the food industry. Like, getting the food industry there will still be okay. Let's have a look at the livestock. We could maybe reduce one of these. Or reduce it 2 levels. So that increases the amount of unemployed we have at least a little bit. Of course, we will be conquering a bit more of the areas here, but every one of these has a lot of industries anyway. So actually, that's... Let's see, if we were to do... Oh, cordial relations with Warsangali. What about Galedi? You've got cordial relations over there as well. And Ethiopia. Oh, Ethiopia. IB. You've got quite a bit of troops there. So I don't know if I want to attack your way quite yet, but I suppose Warsangali we could start damaging relations, so with Galedi. And if we can take these out, we can then maybe... Oh, we've actually got one barracks as well, good. Oh, well actually it's 2 barracks there, but we've only got 1... Oh, right, now that we've gotten that, let's go ahead and switch all the barracks to use mobile artillery and light infantry. It's going to be a little bit on the expensive side. I do want to have all of that set up, and then the ports, I suppose I can start switching more ports into... Let's see, low market access in Somaliland. Do we have a port in there? We do. We'll put in a cargo port there. I don't know if it's going to be enough. No, it's probably not going to be enough infrastructure. We step to the correct direction. We could probably incorporate this as the state at least, although it's going to cost us a little bit with the education if it eventually passes. Opposition members put forth demands. So the clergy would lose a bit of interest or approval rating, but that would be 15% chance of passing it, or minus 10% chance and plus 1 approval. I'm gonna take the chance of passing this law a bit sooner. So now we've got 400,000 radicals versus 200,000 loyalists. That's not great. If we were to reform the government, we can still keep the Sunni in power, or the Sunni ulema in power, but at the same time we can get rid of some of the others so we can keep the legitimacy up, which means that the law will pass a bit faster. And these relations are still pretty good. I don't know if they are No, they haven't started. No, that Galera is already improved relations with that. There we go. Crystal class unlocked. Let's go ahead and unlock some military stuff, perhaps. What are we? Oh, paddle steamer. Actually, that's not necessarily a terrible one to get real quick. But now we can switch the glassworks to produce crystal glass, which removes all the wood required there. Lead price is going to start going up, and I definitely want to give this a bit of an upgrade there. So that way we can get at least a lot more glass produced. And do we have... Actually, we do have an urban center in here, so we are going to put in the market squares there to provide a little bit more services. That doesn't have urban center yet, that doesn't have urban center, so this one... Alright then, so at least we got a little bit in there. We are about to get the university Hedjaz, hopefully, which is going to start increasing the innovation gain at least a little bit. It's not necessarily a massive increase, but it will increase. So Warzangali, that is a massive amount of industry there. Does any one of you have population? No. None of you have extra population there. Everyone's just been building all the industry that they can. That's some poor decision making there. Well, I suppose Warzangali, what I'm going to do is I am going to expel your diplomats. That does increase our infamy quite a bit. But then if we were to... Oh, Ethiopia is improving relations. Okay. Well, I suppose we can take Wello in here. I'll take part of Eritrea and then start taking the northern parts of Ethiopia. Oh, religious schools have passed. Good. So I suppose that's another thing that we should do is get another government administration. Although I suppose... Let's have a look. Is the taxation... Oh... Right, over here, let's get a government administration. Because the tax capacity in Yemen is surpassed quite a bit, apparently. But now we'll get the bureaucracy in there eventually. Industrial barriers. National supremacy pop support. Or more radicals. I suppose the clergy can be a little bit upset. And we're going to live with that. Right, so we're getting in the new barracks. After that, it's going to be our first iron mine. Admittedly, I don't think we have the workers for that, but we'll maybe get some of that eventually. There's the millet farms. Oh, actually, we can put in the harvesting tools, and that's going to reduce the labor use quite a bit in there. There we go, so that will at least free up... Well, I suppose it didn't really free up our workers there, but at least it means that we can produce more. Let's see. Right, so that's 69% market access there. Still room to be better, let's just say. Oh, and man of wars. Okay. If we were to start producing man of wars, that would potentially be a lot of extra money in there. That would be less clippers that we produce. At the same time, if we can produce man of wars, we can have a bit of a fleet. We do not have any naval bases yet. Oman was the one that had the naval bases that we were eyeing at, but we didn't actually conquer. But now we're suddenly losing a lot of money. Alright. There's the diplomatic pacts. Because there might be a lot of things that... Oh, authority. Okay, so we could potentially... But in the porcelain tax, that would be 700. That's the glass tax, that's only 100 and... Okay. I'll put the porcelain tax. That's a bit of extra money at least. We got a cash reserves for a while, to be fair. But not for all that long while. And we've got on the total 22 battalions now for our... Oh, right, we've got 2 battalions over here, I suppose, which are not really in use yet. So, the infamy has dropped a little bit, so Warzangali, how about we do a war against you? Let's have a look. Egypt would be willing to join on our side, maybe. And then there's a few nations that might join on the enemy side, but most likely won't. Let's do a conquer state. We'll activate the army again. Oh, we don't have a general, right? Oh, no, we do have a general. But it's down here, okay. Well, it's in the correct neighborhood, I suppose. So the Iron Mine is still... going to take another 76 weeks. Oh wow, that is quite a while. Also losing a lot of money now. Well, hopefully we can... I mean, I suppose Somaliland has a bit of a problem with the market access, which is probably causing us a lot of issues. I could maybe reduce the farm size here a little bit. That frees up maybe a little bit of the both infrastructure, so the market access will be slightly better, but also reducing the shortfall on the workforce in there. There is a lot of slaves available still, or in use, I suppose. Reduce that another 2 levels, maybe. Admittedly, it will increase the turmoil in here and all that, so not exactly the best course of action, perhaps. And no one joined the enemy side, so this will be a quick war if they even... Well, I suppose they will fight, but it will be a quick war. What do they have as the military? Oh, irregulars only. Alright. 2 arms, so it's 10 to 1 ratio with the manpower in here. or total manpower. In this combat, it's only 6-1, but still, we're going to be winning this quite handily. And they're going to be losing, yeah, a lot wounded. Okay, so that's an empty front there. This one's going to be cleared out very quickly. And then that just leaves that. Okay, so I'm just going to put in the... Oh, paddle teamer unlocked. Good. So have a look at the society. What are we getting there? Stock exchange. Okay. Oh, protectionism, free trade party, and trade route bureaucracy costs. Oh, that's actually not bad. I will take that one, or assist on that one. And then this should be cleared out right about... Oh, no, there's still a bit of a pocket. We will win this war soon enough. And that's going to be another area there. We will have to close down some of the factories that they have in there, because there's just not enough workforce in there. Now we'll just need to wait until they are ready to take the peace deal. Although it seems like they are... Yeah, they are going to get... Oh, stock exchange done. Good. Right, in production, there's the Bessemer process that would allow us to... Oh, that's for steel mill, okay. We don't really need to worry about steel mills too much. What's in the military? Okay, so there's the screw frigate. In society, there's still colonization. As well as... We'll go for the medical decrease, actually. I don't know if that's going to start spreading or not. It is, actually. Okay, good. We conquer all of that. I think they are now ready for... No. Okay, 1 week and they're ready for peace deal. There we go. Now, let's have a look at the factories that we have got. Double textile mill. I don't think we need a double textile mill, to be fair. We're going to reduce that, so that's going to free up some workforce. Tooling workshop, we don't really need a sec... Oh, is that... No, that's not being built. Well, I suppose it is being built, but it's further down in the queue there. So there we go, that's at least a little bit... The tooling workshop, I suppose we can have one tooling workshop in here. And then once we get our own tool or iron production in here, we can use the iron in making the tools a bit more. So food industries, we have already one, but I suppose they will wait for the second one to be built, because that's a bit of a bug with that. Ah, Paradise Lake owners closed, alright. And now we've still got Cordil to the south. What about Isaac over here? We could do another war against you, I suppose. I don't think there's going to be too much opposition to that. Let's just... Oh, where's the army? Did it go back? Oh, we went back home. Right. I'm going to send you down that way. We're still losing a lot of cash. But we're slowly getting a lot of the factories and resources in here in Somaliland. And then we can maybe start entering into... Well, we'll take Willow Eritrea, maybe. And then take parts of Gondar. And then after that, it's just fighting Ethiopia. And then we've got a pretty good sort of area over here to work with. And then, of course, Oman is another one that we need to conquer at some point in the near future. Probably after Ethiopia, to be fair. But there we go. Our troops are ready. Pretty sure that that will be done fairly shortly. Now, we've got the... Oh, another 48 weeks for the tooling workshop in there. And then Somaliland is going to be another 70... Oh, is there just so much turmoil in there that is causing the... Oh, yeah, the construction efficiency is basically nothing there right now because of the turmoil. So how are Ottomans doing? They're protective of me. Okay, that's good. War has broken. Well, I mean, it's going to be a fairly small enemy in there. We've almost gotten to 3 million total population already as well, so that's going to be quite nice. And this battle seems to be going fairly in our favour. We've got a careful manoeuvre. The mud is a bit of a problem there. Careful manoeuvre on both sides, I suppose. So morale loss and casualties taken are going to be a little bit reduced. So I guess the battle was lasting a little bit extra there. We did take quite a bit of casualties in here, unfortunately. I mean, they've got a really good defense, actually. Oh, I mean, I suppose they've got a really good general there, but they had only irregulars, right? No, they do actually have mobile artillery and line infantry. So it's actually not that bad of a troops. I mean, our troops should be roughly the same, but I suppose our troops might not have the... I mean, we did switch the troop quality, let's just say, not that long ago. I'm pretty sure that that modifier should have expired by now. But anyway, we're going to have another corner of Somaliland, and then we're going to have one more area over here that we need to conquer. And then we're actually neighboring Great Britain already, which could be bad. Admittedly, we are tributary of Egypt, so Egypt should, technically speaking, help us, but I'm not entirely sure if they will. So, did we inherit a lot of... Oh, we got another textile mill. I don't think we need 2 of these in here. Arms industry, we'll probably hold on to that one. Got a lot of fisheries in here. We could probably reduce that by at least 1 or 2. Mostly because there's just not enough population to work all of these things anyway. So it's just going to start reducing some of it. Plus, it's going to reduce the infrastructure use, at least to some degree. Which will hopefully be sufficient or helpful in all of this. Of course, it is going to increase turmoil, so this place is probably going to have another revolution soon. Oh, well, first of its kind, I suppose. So turmoil is only 55% actually, but the market access is pretty rubbish. We did get another port though, but I suppose those ports are now hiring. So we might get at least a little bit more infrastructure available. We're yet to get our first... Oh, we should have 3 iron mines, but I suppose... Okay. There is workforce... Well, some workforce in there already. So we'll just need to wait. I mean, are they... Technically speaking, they are producing... Oh, it's inactive. But yeah, it's once we get our first level in there, we'll get better. There's still iron shortage, but there we go. We've gotten a decent chunk of the Horn of Africa. We haven't quite completed conquering the state. Of course, this doesn't count for the nation forming of Arabia quite yet. But we're at least getting slightly closer there. I mean, there is also... Well, I suppose actually it's not really getting closer. It's just getting us a bit of resource that we need pretty much. But well, after we've taken Ethiopia, more or less, we'll conquer Oman, and then after that it's going to have to probably get our independence, so we can start conquering some land from Egypt. Of course, it depends on how strong they are at that point. I mean, they've still got pretty good military in terms of size, at least. But our GDP is also catching up to them. But anyway, we are out of time for this episode, so if you enjoyed this, please like or subscribe if you haven't already. Also got the list down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.